was on how RH2 activates PHA-induced dendritic canine cells. I'm Tai.
I'm Hasan. Okay. So the main scope of our project was investigating a disease called atopic dermatitis. It's more commonly known as eczema. It's actually really prevalent. 31.6 million people in the United States are diagnosed with this disease. And actually 90% of children are also diagnosed with a mild to severe form. And many grow out of it, but many don't as well. So the cause of atopic dermatitis is unknown. And so it really, the symptoms present as like a rash around the face or around the rest of your skin and the body. It can lead to irritation and other symptoms like that. And currently, the treatments are pretty effective because the treatments target the symptoms of the disease rather than the cause. And so because of this, patients with atopic dermatitis can't really get to the symptoms they treat them.
Right, so with that being said, we wanted to find a underlying cause for atopic dermatitis so that we could permanently cure this disease. And we looked at allergy because rash is sort of a symptom of allergy. And the typical pathway is the IgE pathway, which is when basophils and B cells that secrete too much IgE and they attack errant epitopes. But what we were looking at was a secondary pathway, which used dendritic cell activation. And dendritic cells are sort of this key player of the immune system. They sort of hook together the innate and adaptive immune system. And what they do is they recognize foreign antigens, PAMPs, pathogen-associated molecular patterns. And basically when they see these patterns, they'll say, oh, that's a bad cell, we're going to kill it. Or we're going to warn the immune system about this. And in this case, what can happen is food epitopes or allergenic epitopes can errantly activate these dendritic cells.
Right. So just to go to that again, one more reason why we were specifically looking at dendritic cells was because previous studies have found that because of the inflammatory microenvironment of atopic dermatitis, usually they activate dendritic cells, and patients with atopic dermatitis usually have higher counts of dendritic cells in their bodies. So when we were modeling food allergies, we used peanut allergies because out of 21 million Americans who have food allergies, 90% of them are allergic to peanuts. So because this accounts for a large majority of food allergies, we believe that this would be an accurate model to test the best way to find a possible secondary allergenic response. And peanut allergies are also increasing, so it's still kind of a problem.
Alright, so our independent variable was RH2 and also PHA. We used PHA to induce canine PBMC or red blood cells to make dendritic cells, and then we added RH2. And RH2 is the main component in peanut allergy. It's the most allergenic protein. And we measured the dendritic cell activation with CD83 fluorescence using the flow cytometer. We tagged them with the antibody. We used LPS as our control because it's a common protein found in bacterial cell walls, so it'll always activate dendritic cells if they're epithelial dendritic cells. So specifically, we took the canine blood cells, peripheral blood from the Blue Ridge veterinary blood bank. We spun them down. We isolated the PBMC, which is the white blood cells. We added the PHA, which we then took those white blood cells and induced them to become dendritic cells. And from that, we added either the LPS, the control, or the RH2 as a treatment. And then we fixed the cells in paraformaldehyde and we labeled them with the antibodies to see if they were active.
So here we have an image of our cells prior to the PHA treatment. So these are just peripheral white blood cells that were isolated from the dog blood. So after treatment with the PHA, which is supposed to induce differentiation of the dendritic cells, you can see here on the left that the cells that were incubated with PHA appear to be larger, and also there's more clumping going on. And this can be because of the when dendritic cells, they have large protrusions that can usually clump together, and so that's what we believe we're seeing here. And this is a little bit different compared to the image on the right, which is our control with the purple blood cells that were not treated with PHA. So these should not become dendritic cells.
Right, and the reason why we did this is because PHA is actually sort of a novel treatment. We did it because we didn't have enough money for a specific other type of dendritic cell induction. So this was sort of an experiment in itself to see if we could actually create these dendritic cells. And so when we actually labeled the dendritic cells with the antibody following the incubation with LPS, RH2 and stuff, we found that there was basically no significant difference between the fluorescence. So basically what we found was that we only saw the background fluorescence for the cells, which means that either the cells died or the PHA that we used or incubated them with did create some similarities to dendritic cells, but they didn't create a fully functional dendritic cell. Yeah, so this graph sort of shows the difference in fluorescence is practically negligible, statistically insignificant. So what this raises questions about is whether PHA can actually be used to induce dendritic cells. And this is sort of important because it's a lot cheaper of a mechanism to use, and it's oftentimes used, well, it's not often used, but it's been up and coming as a use for dendritic cells because it's so much cheaper. Dendritic cells are so rare in peripheral blood.
Yeah. So we're running a second trial right now. Again, these are the cells before we add the PHA. And then after adding the PHA, again, you can see the cells appear to be larger and more compact compared to the cells without PHA. So currently we're in the process of adding the RH2 and then measuring the fluorescence. So that's just our second trial running. Yeah. So in conclusion, with the data that we have right now, we cannot confirm a hypothesis that RH2 causes activation of PHA-induced dendritic cells. But I know, as I said, we do have a second trial in progress.
Yeah, so because it's possible that the cells just died somehow, so that's why we're running the second trial to check about PHA. But if this second trial does work, it would sort of confirm PHA as this novel isolation and differentiation procedure. Generally, scientists use granulocyte macrophage colony stimulating factor, GM-CSF, which is really, really expensive and not very powerful.
So throughout the course of this experiment, I think Tai and I both learned a lot of new scientific procedures, including cell culturing, filter sterilization, and also we learned how to use the flow cytometer, which is a pretty unique piece of equipment for a high school lab to have.
We didn't deal with problem solving because the flow cytometer actually broke. Someone else tampered with it after it broke. So for our second trial, we're going to be using this other fluorescence labeling device and imaging the concentration of fluorescence and the intensity of the light. So it's sort of, we sort of realized that through a research project, it's never as clear cut as you think it's going to be. You always have to play with the variables and adapt.
Yeah, we definitely spent a couple hours, tinkering with the flow cytometer, and I know Dr. Cobb put in a couple of days, calling people, trying to fix it. So I think it's all part of the learning process. And I think, Tai and I also learned a lot about just research as a career and, on future prospects, going into college and stuff. But, so to wrap up, just like to thank Dr. Cobb for all the help that she gave us with our cells and the calendar and
staying at school until 9 p.m. Paying up after us.
Yeah. So.
And also the TJ Partnership Fund for providing us with the money, the resources to actually make this project happen. And also the Blue Ridge Veterinary Blood Bank, because they very generously donated canine blood for us. We just called them as they come by. We just drove over and picked it up, and that was very,
generous of them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have one for questions. So why don't you be transitioning while the guys take some questions?
You guys have any questions? Sort of straightforward.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Definitely give you more insight, definitely more interest to pursue it. I'm not necessarily as a career, but in college, after college, that's something that I never really thought about. But definitely made us more interested in research in college and doing my projects.
Yeah. For me, I think it definitely gave me more insight into what I would be getting myself into if I did some research in college. And I don't think I was prepared for how rigorous it would be. So I think this lab definitely prepared me for that. So,
Well, you guys came up with a very complicated project. It was very creative. You had a very creative approach. It was very challenging. I mean, I was just delighted that you were able to separate yourself and get them to grow and keep them in pretty good shape. I mean, that alone took a month or two of playing around and lots of practice and getting your solutions. So you guys did a good job.